Okay, gonna try to get these inks wrapped up on Kazu finally. Had to take a break for a few days, but yeah, finally back. Want to get the lines and everything done. I pulled up some better reference of Kazu, and um, yeah, needless to say, there's some elements that I either missed or screwed up on, so I'm gonna try to fix those really quick. And then yeah, I get the lines done, and then block in some flat colors, whatever. See how far we can get. I don't know. Have some fun with it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do the unthinkable and knock out some of this detail from the collar. Looks like I interpreted that incorrectly. Oh well, we'll get it fixed up. So I'm just gonna go in here, remove some of these lines. Like some of this stuff we can probably keep, so I'm not redoing a bunch, but yeah, we'll see. This originally started as just a study and then kind of turned into a full-on thing. So kind of want to get this thing knocked out, and then there's another piece. I've got a Skeletor piece I've been working on. Probably start working on that on this channel afterwards. Hey Larissa, how's it going? Go ahead and just sketch in really quick what this should be. What we got going on here? All right. I'm doing well. It's been kind of a busy week, but the week is over finally. Got the holidays coming up. I've got family coming in town tomorrow, so I'm gonna enjoy myself for a little bit, do some art, and then tomorrow night is when they get here, so it's gonna be like a mad scramble to get everything ready. Clean my 3-year-old's room for like the 18th time this week. He's like a force of nature and chaos. But no, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Okay, what do we got here? So looks like, yeah, he's got the band that kind of goes around and then it loops through this thing. All right, easy enough. I think just so that we don't, I think we might cheat this because I don't want to have to go in here and draw the buckle, so I might just kind of tuck the buckle down. It might take me a few minutes to get back into drawing on this Wacom tablet. The Wacom tablet I use at work is what is like the just the standard ones. They're a little smaller. It's like almost like a 5x7 or something like that. Anyway, so that's what I use at work, and I do sculpting, modeling, painting, whatever on it. And then when I come home, I have this massive 9x12, which I like because you can kind of move your arm around a little bit more. And um, but yeah, it's when you've been using a smaller size for 8 hours straight, for days on end, and then you hop back onto a massive one. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes to just kind of reorient. Some buffering. Okay. Yeah, let me know if that goes away or not. Wait a second, that's not right. Ugh. Okay, if that's his back, then it should be here. Alright, just redraw that real quick. Alright, we're gonna get rid of these lines right here. So we don't need those. Okay, that looks a little more accurate. I'm gonna draw all the GL peeps. I mean, it'd be cool. I'd love to do something that was maybe a little more, like, I don't know, like a team image or something at some point. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting in and drawing a haul on, to be honest. Like, I've had an itch lately to draw, um, yeah, either a haul on or even uh, some of the Union soldiers would be really fun. Like, do like a squad illustration or something. That could be sweet. It would give me an excuse to do something that's a little less heroic and a little more kind of like robotic, edgy, a little grittier. Because Lord knows I don't get enough of that in my life. Yeah, I don't see anybody doing any Union fan art. I mean, they are the evil Union. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, they had some cool designs. I thought anyway. I mean, not that I'm partial. Wink. Yeah, I mean, they're the bad guys and everything, but I kind of liken it to doing fan art of you know Cobra Commander from GI Joe or Destro or something. I mean, they had really cool designs. They were memorable characters. I don't know. Yeah, they were evil guys, but they're still cool. Granted, Genlock didn't really have like a central baddie, except for Nemesis, which that's another one that would be fun to draw. But I did think that some of the soldier designs were really cool. Of course, I'm partial to stuff like cybernetics and creepy looking stuff, so take that as you will. Okay, so we've got the strap on here. He's got like a little. He's, what is this thing? Like a little seam or whatever. Threw that in there. Bad guys are cool. Yeah, bad guys are cool. They look cool. Yeah, I don't know why. Why is it that edgier stuff is always cooler looking. I don't know. My parents, my mom used to, well, my mom and dad, they used to give me no end of grief when I was a kid. It was like, you don't like drawing the hero stuff. You like drawing, you know, creepy stuff like Predator and Alien and, Terminator. It's like, I don't know. Just their designs were cooler. Let's see. What did we talk about last time? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so this is all supposed to be leather or some other type of dark material through here. So I definitely want to make sure that the shading is all consistent, that the rendering is consistent between the back and the the collar, because it's already consistent with the hair. Like the hair, the beard, anything that's a darker material, especially like a darker slick material, is being rendered a certain way. So it's like if you look through the hair, there's a lot of darks, um, relatively solid compared to something like the face, which is a lighter, more translucent material because it's skin, so not a lot of black on there, whereas lots of black to kind of play up the dark material, but also the slickness of it, the reflectivity. We're also doing that for the leather on the majority of his cut, so we're going to want to do that on the collar as well. Now, granted, he's got some tonal breakup going on in here, but we can worry about doing that in the color. I don't necessarily think we need to let that dictate how we render it, um, in the line anyway. I think we can kind of just do a similar pass across all of it, just as long as the pieces themselves pop and you can tell what you're looking at. But when we when we go in and apply some flat colors at the end, we can just go ahead and match this, and we should be fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Is there still a delay in the stream? Are we still having buffering issues? If anybody happens to notice, drop me a note. Let's see. So, from last time, just as a reminder, um, we've got sort of a lower light coming from like down here. We've got a brighter light coming from over here. So we get this really nice kind of opposing light source thing going on, which will be cool when we finally get around to, you know, amping this up with some color and value. But for now, I'll just kind of leave these up as temporary indicators of where my lighting, where my sources are. So yeah, go ahead and start blocking some of this stuff in. Um, I tend to do a combination of line and using the marquee tool to sort of select areas that are going to get solid black. Um, Very rarely do I just go in there and um, use the fill tool. It's like I usually just kind of go in there and brush it in. And sometimes, like right there, it's like it doesn't really matter as much because it was fairly small. But larger stuff, like if you remember from last time, like these areas, I like to get like some of the accidental little lines kind of moving through it. It just helps give it a sense of energy. And plus, I'm going to go back in and kind of like erase some lines into some of this stuff anyway. But anyway, yeah, I like using the lasso tool because it just makes it a lot easier to just kind of select larger areas instead of like sketching it all out. Um, I don't know. I mean, I kind of go back and forth on that. It's only on my laptop. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that the stream is okay for everybody. But cool. All right, so let's see what we got here. Yeah, so we're going to indicate that it's getting kind of scrunched down here. Because remember we said earlier that he's got a buckle that's supposed to be here, but I got lazy and I didn't want to draw it. So we just kind of tucked it down. So we'll just sort of indicate with the shadow right here that it's that that uh, the buckle area is just kind of getting folded down a little bit and kind of scrunched. And then we'll go in here. There's some dark in there. It might be a little much. Yeah, maybe something like that. Bust out the eraser. Let's see. Even if this thing is scrunched, we might get a little more light over here. Maybe I'm gonna cell shade or airbrush this. Well, I mean, I'm gonna do like a typical flat pass first, so I'm just gonna knock in some solid colors, and then I'll probably go with something that's maybe a little more airbrushy, just because there's already so much detail and noise in the lines. I mean, I don't want to contribute to that in a bad way. So yeah, maybe something in between. Yeah, I could see doing that. Also, I need to start being mindful of how much line is making its way into this image because it's starting to become a lot. There's just so much going on in this area, so leave it a little more solid through here, maybe a little more solid with some line work up there, and then I think call it a day. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of the tricky thing, right? Is keeping that balance because I mean, like especially for somebody like me, like I mean, I have a tendency to go crazy with the line work. So I sometimes, like when I'm doing this, you'll see me, knock in a bunch of line, and then the more I start rendering around it, I'm going, this is a little too much. This is just, yeah, too much, too much. But yeah, I love the tactile, textural feel when you have a lot of line work, and I think if you do it right, it can kind of help give your image a sense of energy and movement, having that in there. See, we'll simplify this down. Get something there. See if this turns out to be too much. Right. Yeah. Do the soothing Bob Ross voice version. Now we're just gonna take our eraser tool and with we're gonna make it really thin. We don't want anything too heavy. And we're just gonna erase right back into the solids that we have knocked in. Oh yeah, just like that. hmm Just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it, but we just want to make sure that our piece maintains a certain sense of energy. And you can erase out as many lines as you like. This is your drawing. You can let it be as busy as you'd like, or you can make it a little easier on the eye. Maybe leave things a little more solid. Keep it a little more graphic. It's all up to you. That's why art is so wonderful. It's all up to you. It's your world, it's your characters. You can do whatever you want. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I don't know how much more line I want to add to this collar area. I feel like right now it's messaging really, really well. Maybe just, oh heck, we're just gonna go ahead and do it. We're just gonna add just a little bit more line right over here. Nothing too much, but hey, it's just art. Why not try it? Half the fun of art is just experimenting a little. Don't knock it till you try it, is what I like to say. Don't knock those lines. You gotta embrace those lines. These lines are your friend. Yeah, something like that. We can we can always go back in and make adjustments later. Don't worry. And there's no pressure to get this right the first time. That's what the undo button is for. Sometimes I just don't know what I would do if it wasn't for that undo button. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, next up, there's some things on the back that I want to address. Okay, I can't do that anymore. Oh God. No happy accidents because we control Z that shit. Excellent. Excellent. Wonderful suggestion. Thank you for that. Oh my God, makes me want to go watch the Deadpool Bob Ross skit. I am so high right now. Okay, so there looks to be. Let's see. There's a split in the layering right here. There's an overlap, and that's gonna go straight across. We kind of have something that looks like it could be it, but not quite. Let's go ahead and combine all that down. And I think for this, we're just going to go ahead and do our normal we'll just do the typical lasso technique just to kind of clear out a space for the overlap here. So it'll be something like something like this. There we go. Then we can go in there and lay in a bit of a shadow so we know that that's what that is. And then we've got his patch. Although, to be honest, I might just Photoshop that, see if I can find a high res version of that patch because I don't feel like drawing it. And I'm probably going to do the same with the other patch right here. Let's see. I'll have a border, the writing. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Okay. So we've got that. Let's go start addressing this armor piece over here. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we sketched in this little trim piece incorrectly. So we'll go ahead and actually, we're just going to go ahead and knock out that line as well. And we're going to knock out this one. Cool. All right. So we can go back and start kind of drawing in where it needs to go. Yeah, super excited for the holidays next week. Get a little bit of a break from work. How about y'all? Anybody got plans? Cool plans? Family coming in town, going out of town, going on a trip? Yeah. Who doesn't love Thanksgiving? Oh, you got some family in town. That's cool. Yeah, who doesn't like Thanksgiving? Awesome food. Gain some weight. Uh, Thanksgiving is like going on a cruise. You have to lose like 10 pounds before going. Because you know you're just going to gain it all back. I had so much fun. Oh, I gained weight. It's got this thick border piece that sort of rolls around. It's fairly thin and frail on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit of thickness variation. So it's a little thinner down here around the edge. Maybe it sort of curls around a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit of a rotation. And then as it works its way up, it gets a little thicker, and then it tapers off again, which could be interesting. Anyway, I think it feels a little better for this image. I mean, a lot of this is just a cheat, but I think that'll work. And then let's see. I've got the little triangle plate thing that kind of comes down. We don't need to worry about detailing this out because it's near the edge. Actually, it's near the corner of the frame, so I definitely don't want to draw your attention there. So we'll just sort of hint at some of those shapes, and then we'll focus on some of these others that aren't as complex. Like you got this little rectangular, little kind of techie bit that kind of rolls down here. Actually, I might just sort of roll with this happy accident I had going on down here. Just let it be a little more of an interesting pattern. And then, let's see. He's got the wheel thing down here. And there's an inner part. Ooh, you know what? Actually, should bust out a. Oh, actually, you know what? No, never mind. Let me do this. Bust out this thing. And then we'll run a stroke on that. Pixels. Perfect. Right. Something like that. That's fine. Gets the idea across. Okay. Let's see. Are there any other details we're missing on here? Don't think so. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take this back the way it was. Simplify it. That was starting to bug me a little bit. Okay. I think for the most part, it's looking pretty good. This is maybe looking a little too empty down here, so I'll just sort of hint that there's something. Okay, yeah, I think that's looking pretty solid. I don't know that you would actually see that, but yeah, get rid of it. Okay, and now we can go ahead and I'm going to save this out and start shading it. Oh my god, new episode of Mandalorian came out today. I need to watch it. Can't wait. You already saw it. Was it good? Oh, you watched it this morning? Oh, jealous. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I've liked the first two episodes so far. They're not perfect by any means, but I was telling one of my coworkers that my experience with Mandalorian is I occasionally am sort of caught off guard by, you know, just random things like maybe something in the music or whatever that's it kind of pulls me out of the experience or something that's kind of distracting. Uh, and in my head as I'm watching, I'm taking note of these things. But for whatever reason, at the end of the episode, it's like what? I don't even care. It's just really fun. It's done really well. The production value is insane. Um, the look of the show is just gorgeous. I love it. I mean, it's got the right tone. It just works. This one was less costly. Yeah, I'm excited. Interested to see what they do with Baby Yoda, everyone's favorite new Star Wars character. Seriously, as soon as they release a toy of Baby Yoda, um, it's gonna be all over. Game over. People who aren't even that interested in Star Wars want one. I mean, come on. All right, I think we're good to go to start shading this thing. Uh, yeah. Again, it's a little darker, but it's not supposed to be black or dark gray. So I don't think I'm going to shade it as much, but I do want to infer that it's reflective. So we'll start working on that. Yeah, the color grading on Mandalorian is great. I need to look into that. I don't know why, but I feel like this is probably wrong, but I feel like I had read somewhere that the director of photography is whoever did Rogue One. Need to look that up and see if that's correct. I mean, it would make sense, the kind of sweeping epic feel of it, because Rogue One was a little more of, you know, like a war film. This is a little bit more like an epic western. There's some similarities to be had there. But yeah, like the value structure of the shots and the lighting setups and everything, very similar. And the color grading, yeah, the color grading looks great. Okay, let's see. How do we want to do this? Well, here's something easy. We're gonna fill that in. I know I said earlier I don't do that very often with the gradient or the paint bucket, but in that case it's faster, and I kind of want to just get through this part of the process so we can start throwing in some value and color. This is supposed to be really dark. This this edging, but it's so thin. It's so small. I don't know that I want to block in a lot of darks on that thing. And then this is supposed to be a lot brighter. So I might just go ahead and see if lighting's coming from here. You might get some type of little reflective sort of details or something. Yeah, it was weird. I was way more excited for Mandalorian than I am the new Star Wars movie. So crazy. Like I kind of just don't care about the new Star Wars film, but Mandalorian I'm all about. Yeah, this is way too busy. I don't like this. Oh, you talking like a core shadow? Something kind of like down here ish? Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, let's try something out here. See if this is gonna work. Something like that, and then we'll do another core over here. It's interesting. You can see the remnants of my sketch down here. Um, the funny thing is it somewhat sort of aligns with where I need it. I might just go ahead and say screw it and follow that. This is actually kind of neat. Hmm, interesting. No, it's looking decent, I guess. Start combining some of this stuff down. Commit. Gotta commit. Give it a sign of some wear or something. I think that's... That could probably work. This might be a bit much. Yeah. Flip it. Check it out. Try to find the stuff that looks weird. I mean, I think that's working for the most part. Get rid of that undersketch. Yeah, it holds up. Sweet. Okay, let's go ahead and erase the lights. Light directions, excuse me. Start naming some layers so we know what this is. Oh my god. So my kid was in here the other day wanting to draw and paint, and I totally forgot I left these in there. He's like, I want to draw some colors. He's like 3.5. Look at that. He already... Look, my flats are done. They're done. Get that out of here. Okay. Give this a save. This is one of my favorite parts. Going in and blocking out some stuff. Okay. We'll start with probably this. The base stuff. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and just lasso tool this thing. Save myself a lot of time and heartache trying to brush this stuff in. Yeah, I find I have to do smaller chunks like this because, like, like, if I accidentally hit it twice, then suddenly it's like I lose my selection and yeah, hair strands. Oh God. Yeah, this is I mean, it's way easier to do it like this, but it's not exactly the most fun thing in the world. But it's hugely satisfying to be done with it. Oh, almost to the finish line. Thank God. Oh, thank you. All right, let's go spot check this thing. That's a little weird. I think for the most part, this is looking okay. Can I go back and start searching for holes? Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, so we've got the darkest. We've got his darkest tone in there. Now let's do. Yeah, I'd love to actually be some experimentation with doing like the newsprint like halftone way of rendering. Something like see like in a manga or something like that. It could be fun. Let's see. Okay, so this thing needs to be. Yeah, I think that'll stand out enough. We can always bump it up later if we have to. Okay, so this is where I'm just going to go ahead and close that off. Knock in his little light. Man, I want a jacket with a light on it. Get this red going on here. So I'm working on putting together a more reliable Twitch schedule. Given all the other commitments I have, I'm thinking starting off with 2 or 3 times a week is probably going to be my maximum. So if it's twice a week, excuse me, it's probably going to end up being like Tuesday, Thursday if it's 3 times a week. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, probably not Friday, maybe Saturday. I might just start off with Tuesday, Thursday, and kind of see how that goes. I did post that I was going to be on Twitch tonight, but it was kind of late notice. Thing is like I want to have a schedule so that it's it's easier for people to just kind of know ahead of time if they're interested. Yes. Okay, I think we've got that covered. See what's next. Oh man, I don't want to have to select more hair. No. I hate it. My least favorite thing to draw. That. Wow, that's a good question. Least favorite thing to draw. Um, you hate drawing belts. I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know if I have anything that I just really, really hate to draw. I'm sure I do. Just can't really think of one right now. I think the other thing too is like I'm just now getting back to drawing on regular basis, so I'm sure whatever it is, I'll rediscover it soon. Oh God, horse walking down a spot. Yeah, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Can we be done selecting this damn hair already? I hate you. I hate you. Oh, doing really good. Doing really good. Just wrapping up the week, doing some drawing, doing some chatting, just kind of relaxing, winding down. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend for sure. For sure. All right, we got some nice solid masks going. Yeah, I mean, this channel is just getting off the ground, so the community is going to be pretty small, but hopefully at some point we'll have enough people in here to, I don't know, make it a little more, make the interaction a little more fun. But right now you kind of just have to listen to me drone on. All right, what's going on here? There we go. That seems really light. Let's not do that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it's going pretty good now. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I have a few friends that they they've got their own channels and they have huge communities, and I don't know. I guess the back and forth tends to go a little smoother and quicker just because there's so many questions and comments and stuff, so there's always something to talk about. Um, but on the other hand, I mean, right now the channel is nice and chill, so I mean, I'm enjoying it. I love to sit and draw and chat with people and have a good time, and so yeah, I mean, this is just fine for me. Mainly, I just want to make sure that the channel is exciting for viewers. That's all. Trying to build a community of people who enjoy what's being worked on and want to come back because they have a good time being there. But hey, if people are having a good time, I need to get music going on my next stream. What do I typically enjoy doing during streams? Um, you mean like during other people's streams or doing my own? Hey, Sana, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, vanities. Yeah, are you talking about like if I'm watching somebody else's stream? Yeah, my own. Oh. Um, well, I mean, I like I mean, my big thing is, answering questions, uh just getting to know people. Like I said, like I'm my goal would be to try to grow it into like a community of people who or viewers who kind of all enjoy similar content, and so as we're trying to as I'm trying to come up with new stuff to work on, get some feedback from the community and the viewers who are interested, and really help, yeah, just try to drive it to be a channel where we can be working on stuff that everybody finds interesting, because like I said, I like to answer people's questions, just get to know people, and if anybody ever has feedback for me, I'm more than willing to take it. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that, like I said, I also need to get some music on. Usually I enjoy listening to music while I work. um, I had read something the other day about like you have to be careful having music on your streams because then if you try to port them over to YouTube, then YouTube might flag it because your music is copyrighted or whatever, and it's like, ugh. So one of the things that I've been doing is taking my videos and I started porting them over to YouTube, and I'm just like I have so many friends who are going through issues with YouTube and getting their stuff flagged and taken down, and I don't know, like I have this allergy to it, so I might try it on the next one and just kind of see how it goes, because if there's a lull in conversation, I don't want it to get boring. It's like have like a playlist going, and yeah, chat and answer questions, and if it happens to get quiet, at least there's something there, something ambient playing. So just something to keep it interesting. A YouTube channel called No Copyright Sounds. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, let's get some eyes going up in here. Oh man, this is low res as hell. My opinion on concept art. What specifically? I mean, Sana, you've worked with me. You know I got lots of opinions. Oh, you mean on a podcast or here? The podcast thing. Oh, yeah, that podcast idea would have been awesome. Yeah. Oh man, I've thought about doing a podcast so many times, but then I can never. It always comes down to like, what would I talk about? I don't know. I don't know. I'm always like, does anybody care what my opinions are? Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Oh, do I feel like concept art in general is getting too samey? Yes. Yeah. So, a couple of interesting conversations I've been in at work recently. I'll just kind of go down the list. One is, and just give you a setup. Um, Went by a coworker's desk to ask him a question. He had a couple of people gathered around his desk because it's like they were doing the daily ArtStation checkup, um, and basically, so they're scrolling down that front page of whatever's trending, and it was like picking out stuff here and there, like, oh, click on that one, that looks cool. Click on that one looks cool. And like finally, I just kind of sat back and I said, you know what? I have to admit, I've been taking a break from ArtStation because every single thing I see, like, there's no shortage of good work, but everything is starting to look the same. Um, like all the techniques are starting to sort of converge in a way that everyone's work is starting to look the same. Any influence someone's style might play on how they execute a design seems to be evaporating because like the more photo you use, the more 3D you use, and they're effective tools, don't get me wrong. I mean, they absolutely should be used, but I think there's just like anything, there's a drawback, which is, it unless you're one of those artists who has such a distinct style that even when they execute in 3D, it still shows up, then everybody's work, yeah, it all starts to look the same. And so, yeah, I think a lot of concept art is starting to like the quality is going up, but I think any semblance of like a personal style or a personal sort of trademark on it is just, yeah, that's starting to kind of evaporate. And because it's super easy to, go on a website like ArtStation. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on ArtStation, but it's a good example. It's like because it's so easy to find a website like that and go and see what all the, big AAA artists are doing, then it becomes easier to start mimicking them, and then it becomes easier to get good at it. So, it's just, yeah, there's lots of reasons for it, I think. Um, I had another I had another thought on that, but yeah, if I remember it, I'll come back to it. But yeah, I would agree that a lot of concept art is starting to feel samey. Oh no, that's what it is. So one of the reasons why I'm getting back to doing more like hand done, like like sketching and painting and doing the comic styled stuff is because just after a while, I just got sick of looking at my work and other people's work and going like, what's the difference? Like the quality bar could be the same, but there's nothing that I feel like I'm contributing by hand that's sort of leaving a mark on it, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Yeah, vanities. Yeah, everybody's using the same brushes because they look good for making concept art. Yeah, I actually find a lot of people who are starting off in concept art, it's like they don't take the time to learn the fundamentals. They just jump right into tricks, shortcuts like the brushes or the photo bashing. And again, there's nothing wrong with those as tools, but it's kind of like knowing the rules before you break them. Like a lot of these people just think like, well, I use this amazing looking brush, therefore my work looks great, or they buy these 3D kit bash sets that are done by really great artists, and they think like, well, my the end result is going to look great because I used an amazing set that was put together by a quadruple A artist, and it's like, no, actually, somehow you managed to take great looking pieces and make a horrible design. So yeah, it's yeah, lots of cheats and stuff, and everybody's using the same ones, and I just yeah, I feel like websites like ArtStation are just becoming saturated by stuff like that. I don't know. Will I buy the new Tesla truck? Oh my gosh, that thing. Oh, so a dude that sits next to me at work showed that to me this morning, and I thought it was a joke. Okay, like I straight up thought it was a joke. They were looking at, well, first they teed it up by showing me some Tesla concept trucks, which looked absolutely gorgeous. Like I would sell my house to get one of those. Like they look like something out of a sci-fi movie, but in a good way. And then they were like, "Okay, don't get too excited. You're getting too excited." So they took that down. They're like, "How about this, which is the real one?" And they showed it to me, and it took me like 5 minutes to accept that they weren't kidding. I was like, "This has got to be a joke. This looks horrid." And then on top of it, the presentation didn't go well when the shattered proof glass got broken on like the first try. Oops. Ugh. Yeah. Looks like the PlayStation 1 car. Yeah, we were making jokes today. Like, we're all a bunch of 3D nerds, and we're making jokes like, it looks like somebody ran it through Decimation Master and ZBrush too many times or something. Like, it's like oddly low poly looking, but not in a good way at all. So crazy. Yeah, it's like an LOD model. Yeah, a couple people at work made jokes about that. It was like they forgot to load in all the LODs when they showed off the car. Ugh. But I guess Tesla even said something, right? Like not everybody's gonna like this or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, somebody told me they thought he had said something like, "Yeah, not everybody's gonna like it. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea." I'm like, I guess. It's like if you announce a new major vehicle like that by talking about how, well, not everybody's gonna like this. It's like, wait a second. You know going in that this thing's gonna have issues, don't you? You know going in. Anyway, God, that thing. I thought it was a joke. It's like, no way. Like I feel like it would have been more compelling if it wasn't real. Like if you saw it in like a game or a movie, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, whatever." But when somebody shows it to you and says, "Hey, this thing is going to cost like $1 million," and or whatever it is, I don't remember, and uh, and it looks like this, you're kind of like, "What? What?" The new LOD overlords. Yeah, emulating Sid Mead. Yeah. When I saw it, I made some comment to one of my coworkers. I was like, "This is the kind of design where if somebody submitted it in a portfolio, you would turn them down for a job." That might have been a little harsh. All right, get rid of that. All right, save this. The flats are done, I think. Okay. How do I want to do this? Let's see here. Yeah, we'll just grab that. Yeah, so this isn't gonna stay like this. I just want to throw something in there so I'm not looking at a blank white background anymore. For crying out Yeah, that strong white background, man, that kills after a while. It kills. It kills. Um, let's see. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Might do some general lighting grads first, just to start to get an idea of where all the light and shadow are gonna play on this thing. Actually, let's do something different. Let's take... Let's see, what kind of a shadow color do we want? Try a couple things, kind of experiment, kind of play a little bit. That's kind of interesting. Dope. I think for now, I'll go ahead and let's just do this. Let's just use this as a general mask for some shadow, and then we can go in there. We'll leave it neutral for now, and then we can go in there and maybe add some color to it later if we decide to do it that way. God, the flatness of the eyes, that's got to go away like right now. That's going to bug me. Have I seen Baby Yoda? Psh, of course I have. Did you see the original piece of concept art done by, I want to say his name is Christian Alsman at ILM? It was pretty damn close. We were talking about that at work today. I was like, yeah, I guess that guy is going to be the official go-to person for creating cute aliens. He kind of knocked it out of the park with that Yoda. Baby Jabba the Hutt. That's funny. That sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen something like that before. I'll have to dig around and see if I can find it. Oh God. Let's go ahead and just lock that thing so I'll screw it up again. get some general gradients going just to start breaking up how flat it feels. Feels about right. Let's revisit this skin and this stuff. Ooh, yeah, make it nice and moody. I like that. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I get way too excited. Oh, yeah, look at how good that looks. Mmm. Okay. Do I ever paint ambient occlusions? Yes. I like make it nice and booty, am I right, gamer? Sana, are you excited for the new Star Wars film? Don't really care too much. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I'm kind of in the same boat, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, vanities. I would agree with that. Um, it just seems like yeah, it seems like they just kind of, it's all over the place. Like it's, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, the visuals, yeah, the visuals are fine. It's just like the characterization, like the writing of the characters, uh, well, at least for some characters anyway, like seems to change from movie to movie depending on who's writing it. Um, Not to mention like the, I mean, granted, we haven't seen this last movie yet, but it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the stories string together very well. Like there's a weird like discontinuity to where it's like, what is the point? of this story, like what character progressions are happening from film to film. I don't know. Yeah. What, you didn't like the topless Kylo in in Last Jedi? Good call. That's funny. Darken that down a little bit. I don't think I don't think all of it was goofy. I mean, I think you can find. I think some designs hold up better than others, but I don't think it's all goofy. Sana, what's a good example in your mind of something that was a little more goofy from the old stuff? A black cylinder glued to a windshield wiper. You think Darth Vader's armor looks goofy? Well, it, okay. I, he's got some elements that maybe could be tweaked. Yeah, I agree with Vanities. It's so iconic. Yeah. It's like if it's one of those things where like if you had a choice of having somebody come in and redesign it, like would you? It's like I don't know, like you could maybe let's just throw this out there. Like maybe you could make the quality better, but it's so iconic though. It's like Superman. It's like a less it's like a less horrid version of Superman, right? Like Superman, they've tried to redesign it so many times and they've actually come up with stuff that felt, and it didn't, not often, but they have done some stuff that was like, okay, like maybe this is a progression in the right direction, but it's just not memorable. It's like you got to have the red undies on the blue pants. You know, it's like you can't. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you that it, you know, there's some stuff on there that could be improved or whatever. It's just, yeah, those are hard conversations to get into because it's like at this point in time, so many people are, like, people are so invested in it the way it was that it's like, I don't, like, what do you do? Yeah. But yeah, I hear you. One of the reasons why I liked Rogue One, I thought they captured the feel of the original aesthetic, but also did it in a more kind of sophisticated way, at least in some areas anyway. Got his dumb pants from Dumb Vader. How's everybody liking Mandalorian? Oh yeah, we could do some cool light. Be coming from behind him, and then like a warm light source down here. That could be neat. Oh no! It doesn't come out until March? Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry about that. Ugh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Oh, yes. It's not a flawless show. It's got some issues. It definitely feels like it's I've only watched the first couple episodes. no spoilers. It feels like a show that's still trying to find its stride, something, it's trying to find its identity. Um, but it's doing a pretty good job of setting itself apart from the other stuff that's been done. Um, it certainly has a tone that it sticks to, very consistent in my opinion. And again, this is after 2 episodes. Um, and yeah, the production value is great. I like the story so far. It's very much in the vein of like a western, almost like Star Wars crossed with like a. How about now? I think I may have hit my mute or something. Cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, that's crazy. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, the lines and the shading and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think like stuff you've talked to me about before in the past about relying a lot on gradients and airbrush, maybe a little bit of texture here and there, like some subtle kind of cell shading or whatever. Like I kind of feel like that's the way to go with stuff that's really heavy online. Because yeah, like you're saying, it's just it gets super busy, and like a lot of the values are kind of created by the hatching. And yeah, I mean it's yeah, when there's a ton of line work and a ton of complexity in the color, it just doesn't read very nice. I don't know, in my opinion anyway. What is going on? Stop it. Is there is there anything in particular y'all would like to see in future streams? yeah, for anybody who didn't hear me talking about it earlier, um, I'm gonna try to do probably two two streams, 2 or 3 streams a week. And I'm still trying to lock down exactly what that schedule is going to be because I'd like it to be something that I can stick to. Um, but on top of that, is there anything that you know, something, you know, I don't know, drawing, painting, like, is there like anything particular, certain characters? Yeah, yeah, vanities. Yeah, if you have links, sure. The inking phase. Yeah, we can do more of that for sure. Yeah. The first video was actually me just going through all the inks, and then I finished up the inks today, minus the lines for all the patches on the back of his cut. But yeah, we can do more of that for sure. Yeah, yeah. Check out this link. Oh wow. Oh yeah, there's some nice stuff in here. Yeah, I'm digging the softness to this. It's got a nice feel. You want to see me draw a Pokemon? Comic processes. Could you also photo bashing? Okay. Comic processes. Is there anything specific? Yeah, the photo bashing process is pretty straightforward. Um, can certainly do that. There's some really really nice tricks, just like Photoshop tricks that you can do, um, just to um, get your color, get your tones and everything matching from photo element to photo element. Yeah, that stuff is easy enough. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, just like more of the same, you mean? Just kind of more of this stuff? Yeah, I mean we can certainly do that. I mean I'm gonna be doing a lot of this stuff anyway. Um, there's this, and then I can show you where I'm at with. Oh yeah, here's this other thing I'm in the middle of working on. So I might finish this up at some point. Maybe I'll do this one next. I don't know. Yeah, this one's I'm having a ton of fun with that. So yeah, I might finish up that one. Um, oh, thank you, Vanities. Yeah, I'm a huge Skeletor fan. So yeah, I might go ahead and finish this one up next, unless yeah, like if there's something else specific that you guys want to see, like if it's just more comic process, then I can certainly finish up this one after I finish this Kazu piece. Um, or we could. I know Sana asked for a Pokemon. You'll have to shoot me a link or something and show me what it is that you have in mind. That could be fun. I have never ever drawn a Pokemon, so on this channel would be the first time I've ever done it. It'll be a learning experience. Yeah. Actually, you know what would make for a great episode? Episode. It's my show, guys. It's my show. You know, big for a great session would be just coming onto the stream, and then like we'll work it out ahead of time. Like, hey, this next stream, I'll do, you know, if you want to do a Pokemon character, like we'll do that. But don't tell me ahead of time what it's going to be. Just wait until you come onto the stream, and then just drop a link to it. Be like, here's the one, and then it'll be a surprise to me, and then you can watch me try to figure it out. Oh no. Yeah, like a drawing challenge. Yeah. Multiple locations on a single Twitch stream. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Ha ha ha. Chibi Dexter. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out about being able to go back and forth on streams. That'd be really cool if you could do that. Um, hmm. We'll have to look into that. Oh man, that sounds great. So, are they not allowed to know? Like, are these people inexperienced with Pokemon, so they don't know how they typically look? So it's like, okay, here's this thing called Pokemon. I'm going to give you a description. You have to draw it and then compare it. Oh my God, that's awesome. How about this? No. And dumb pants. Channel Mr. Plinkett. Oh God, Mr. Plinkett's just. This first character is the protagonist. What do you think he looks like? Oh my God. Oh no. Are you serious? Mr. Plinkett for the rest of the night? Oh God. No. Too late, Sana. Too late. Now it's happening. Just kidding. No. The Bob Ross section. Oh, I'm gonna make that into a highlight. That's for damn sure. The highlight of this stream was the Bob Ross section. Welcome everyone to another episode of Drawing Kazu. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. So go ahead and get out your digital paintbrush and we'll go ahead and get started. So today I'm thinking we'll do Kazu looking a little menacing. Something a little scary. Ooh. Something kind of exciting. Now, if you're not a fan of something that's a little more scary, or creepy, or edgy, or menacing, you can do whatever you want. In the end, this is your drawing. This is your world that you're creating. Just wherever your inspiration takes you. There's no wrong answer. Okay, now that we're done adding some warmth to his face, we're going to go ahead and clean off our Wacom pen. Just beat it like it owes you money. Dude, Kazu looks like he's about to go ruin somebody's life. I don't know that he ever actually came across that way in the show. I'm gonna murder the Union. Sons of Anarchy Kazu, yeah. I was actually thinking about that the other day. It was like, when I first started drawing this, it's like, what if you just let him go full on biker? Like, if he was a little less sort of pretty boy biker Kazu and a little more, kind of, if you push the edge a little bit more, which is why, like, I went in and I added, more growth to his beard instead of it being so clean shaven all the way down by the chin. I was like, screw it. Like, what happens if you just give him like the full on kind of goatee that's starting to just kind of spread across his entire, um, like it's starting to connect back up to his hair. It's starting to get a little bushy or whatever. I don't know, just something about it feels maybe a little more rebellious, but his breakfast fried rice. Right. Hmm. Just gonna try to accentuate his lid a little bit. I don't know if that's really working the way I wanted. Hmm. Might leave that alone for now. Who knows? Oh, breakfast fried rice. Man, that sounds good. Now that's what I want. Thanks a lot, Sana. All right, it's decided. I'm going to make breakfast fried rice when I get up in the morning. It's one of my favorite things to eat anyway. So why not? Um, so I've been working in more of a comic book style since I was a kid. Um, in fact, I was one of those people who, if you had asked me what I want to do when I grow up, it would have been I want to work in comics. Um, and then, as soon as my parents started to find out, like, hey, you can't really make a great living doing this, then they tried to discourage me from doing that. But they knew I wanted to do something art related, so they kind of pushed me in other directions. So I went into doing 3D work. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love. I mean, I grew up reading comics. I love comic books. I love the art form. Um, so occasionally I kind of go back to doing more, sort of comic inspired, uh, either original designs or more kind of fan art or whatever. Um, and then lately, kind of like we were talking about earlier with the, ArtStation thing, and everybody's works is starting to feel the same. I really started to feel this pull to go back to something where I felt like, um, it's a little more expressive. It's a little harder for somebody to, copy a style like this, or whoever style or whatever. Like it's easier. It's harder for people to just kind of do the exact same thing as it is when people are just kind of doing a lot of photo in 3D. I mean, obviously it can be done, but and this just has a little bit more of a personalized stamp to it. It's like this is just like you can't really cheat this. Like I mean, this is you can either do it and people like it or they don't. Um, so either it's working for people or it ain't. And so I'm yeah, like I'm really wanting to go back to something that has a little more sort of handcrafted. Um, I don't know if that's making sense, but it's got more of me in it. It's like I can see my own influence on it. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I've been toying around with the idea of doing something, whether it was like an animation um, or if it was a comic, and I think I've landed on doing a comic. I've seen like so many people doing great stuff, like doing crowdfunding, like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. God, I went down the rabbit hole this week. I must have backed like three different projects just because they had a really good history of really coming through on deliverables and the quality was really high. And so yeah, like I'm kind of feeling the urge to just do a book. Honestly, it would be awesome. Uh, it would be mind blowing, honestly, to be able to hold something that was printed, um, and be like, oh my god, people like this enough to fund it, or if I did it through Patreon or something, to actually have something that's physical. I mean, doing a webcomic, I mean, certainly that would be awesome. But God, doing a printed comic that was, like your own creation or something would be awesome. Oh well, thank you. Yeah, I've got a concept in mind that I'm still trying to work through, but oh my God, I would love to do it. And also the other thing too is like if you do it yourself, you can choose the scope, make it manageable, but also give yourself enough time to go in there and really make it the best quality it can be, and you're not rushing to meet some type of a monthly deadline. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're doing something that's creator owned, if you don't have any external pressures on you, then you can kind of just do it however you want. All right, I think we're at the point where we're starting to over render this a bit. I might also go in and screw around with the color of this layer at some point, but I think for now it's a good starting point. Yeah, all right, start working on something else. Is anybody, any of y'all reading comics currently? Like, God, the new Genlock comic, anything Marvel, DC, whatever, or the independent stuff. Right now, I'm doing. There's a few titles I'm back to buying every month. There's a Blade Runner comic that's really good. Actually, they just put out their first trade, and I went and picked that up, even though I already had all the individual issues. But oh well, I liked it. Um, God, that I briefly got back into Spawn again, just because the art is pretty good. Yeah, vanities. I agree with that. Well, and that's part of the reason why. So I got in this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, about digital comics, and he used to be like way more hardcore about comics than I am, than I ever was, and he decided to make the switch to go like full digital. So he still buys comics, but he buys everything digital. And I tried doing that, and I just I just couldn't. Like I didn't like the experience reading it digital. I don't like that sort of guided reading experience thing that they try to do. I'm sure there's people who enjoy it, and that's awesome. but personally, I just did not like it. It's like I like to be able to open it up and see the entire page as like a composition and kind of navigate your way through it instead of it being like here's that panel and then we're going to zoom in on that one and then that one and that one. So that was one thing, and then yeah, I like being able to just pick it up and hold it. Maybe I'm a dinosaur. I don't know. I've tried. I've tried. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. It's very practical. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, vanities, you're right. Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, um, my dad was in the military, so I lived on military bases my entire childhood. But they would have these little like corner stores, and you could just go in there, like right at the front, and it was magazines, and they'd had comic books, like lots of comics, not like hey there's two comics and it's like X-Men and something else. I don't know. I mean they had a pretty good selection of books. And now, yeah, I don't really think it's I don't think it's that easy anymore. Yeah. God, I remember when you could buy comics at what was that toy store? I feel like you could was it Toys R Us or somebody like that, and you could get comics like what they didn't have comic sections per se, but I think it was over in action figures. Like you could just get comics like on the corner or something, and I don't think you can do that anymore. But nobody really reads. Comics aren't really as big of a thing, unfortunately. Yeah. Maybe I'm just really bad about buying into the media representation of it. Like whenever you hear people talking about comics as an industry, it's like, no, it's going away. They're losing money, and it's like, well, it doesn't mean that it's all going away. Like you're saying, I mean, mm, actually, I think we're good without it. See if we can pop this eye a little bit more because he's eyes are feeling a little dead for some reason. Maybe like that. Yeah, that starts to work, I guess. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna I don't think I'm going to be finishing this tonight, but I do want to get some indications of here of where it's going to go. So we're going to grab, let's see, what have we already done? Okay, something like this. Test this out, see how that looks. Oops. Go a little brighter. That might be a little saturated. Yeah, we can try that out and see what that does. So I'm going to try to do like an opposite of what's going on in the background. And again, like I might shift the hues around at some point, but just for right now, temperature wise, it's kind of like the background is doing this like cool to warm, and then on him I'm going to do the warm to cool so that it's popping on this side as well as this side. But hopefully if I do it right, your attention's going to go to his face and not all this. But we want to make sure that everything feels like it's got a sense of lighting on it. So yeah, let's see what happens here. It won't go as strong on the lighting back here either. A little more dim. I don't know. I might experiment with this a little bit just to see what's going to work. But this is the general idea anyway. Oh, thank you. It's starting to look a little flat over there. Doesn't look like it's got curvature, so I'm going to erase some of that out. So it may not be as accurate with where the light would be, but at least it maintains a sense of feeling three-dimensional. Thank you, Vanities. Yeah, I mean, it's like I was saying earlier. Like, I mean, there's great stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of tons of people on ArtStation, but I don't know. Just at some point, you just feel like you're either looking at the same thing over and over, or you can't tell it apart anymore. Like, there's artists who I used to really admire, and now they're just kind of doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, and I know why they're doing it, uh, but it just, I don't know. There's part of it that just sucks. No. Oh God. Um, that could have been bad. Yeah. Yeah, I've been having a lot of problems like that at work lately. You'd think I would have learned my lesson by now. Yeah, I'm so used to having some issues like that recently that I just immediately flinch. Like, no. But I don't know. So actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits for the night. Yeah, I gotta get up early and start doing some prep for family coming in town and everything else. So, yeah, I've had a blast. Thank you so much for being a part of my stream tonight. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I'm gonna try to come up with a more set schedule for doing this. And when I do, I will make sure that it's posted up so that everybody can see it. So yeah, I think we're gonna leave this here, and I have a pretty good idea of what I'm gonna do to finish it out. So next stream, I'm just gonna hop in and then get the rest of the color knocked out and call this one quits, and then we can hop onto something else. Um, yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks again for coming back here and spending the time and chatting and watching and asking questions. It's a blast. So cool. All right. So I'm off for the night, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks, everybody.